Welcome, everyone. My name is Tom Oliva, and I am co-founder and executive director of the All-American High School Film Festival, the largest student film festival in the world. We believe in the unique stories you have to tell, and we want to help you transform your stories into influential films that will connect and inspire people all over the world. Our mission is to provide you with the tools that you need to tell your story, whether it's in the form of a music video, documentary, drama, animation, any genre. We are here to help. And once you've made your film, we provide a grand stage each October in New York City, where you can share your stories, connect with career opportunities and thousands of other young artists, celebrate creativity, and of course, win huge prizes and scholarships. Let's take a look at the 2020 Festival Highlight Reel. After our biggest, most successful festival in 2019, we set our sights on an even more epic 2020 experience. 2020 certainly didn't turn out how any of us expected, but it did provide plenty of silver linings. Our community was more active than ever before, submitting a record 2,500 submissions, embracing our 2020 Quarantine Diaries category, sharing authentic, inspiring stories, and solidifying our belief that the future of film is now, and it's brighter than ever before. Together, we rallied around our first virtual festival, building a robust, resource-filled, and rewarding experience that illuminated our collective spirit. Over 100 teams participated in our film invitational competitions, working remotely to create incredible productions that aptly reflected our new maxim: never stop creating. You flocked to our industry professional panels, workshops, exclusive interviews, tech tutorials, and comprehensive college fair. And you shared your passion and perspective in our live networking rooms and audience voting. But we're not looking back. We're pushing forward. So welcome back to New York City, home to the 2021 All-American High School Film Festival, the 9th annual showcase and celebration of the best student filmmakers from around the world. 2021 is all about doing what we do best, providing a grand stage for thousands of attendees, discovering, embracing, and uniting the next generation of visual storytellers and content creators. So join us for an unparalleled adventure in the heart of the Big Apple, an experience that will shape your future. We'll be full speed from the start, kicking off with our immersive, real-world film invitational competitions and our first ever private yacht dinner and dance cruise around the island of Manhattan. The perfect chance to share your passion, form lasting relationships, and be awestruck by the amazing sights and sounds that only New York City can provide. Just how epic is the festival experience? All official selections for the All-American High School Film Festival screen here, the AMC Empire in Times Square, the busiest movie theater in America. And that's just part of a weekend packed with events designed to celebrate, educate, and motivate the future of film. The nation's largest film and media arts college fair, an interactive technology showcase, industry insider panels and workshops, and of course, the Teen Indie Award Show, the Dress to Impress red carpet celebration of the year, recognizing the best of the best in student filmmaking, where in 2020, we handed out over $500,000 in prizes and scholarships. Submissions are now open for the 2021 All-American High School Film Festival, and we look forward to welcoming all of you back to New York City this October. Never stop creating. This session will focus on a selection of the best student films from our library. We have received over 12,000 films in the last 9 years, so choosing a few to screen is not easy. When choosing films to include here, I tried to focus on films that share a great story, but also have something specific to teach. Techniques that can help take your next film project to the highest level. And more importantly, techniques that will help make people want to watch and keep watching what you create on screen. Our first film, Paradigm, won our top award, Best Overall Film, all the way back in 2013. It's a highly personal story, a fictional retelling of actual events that the filmmaker experienced, and it provides a great example of an essential element of great student films. Write what you know. I'm sure you've all heard that one before, but let me explain why it's so important. You are an expert on your life and your experiences. All you need to do is turn them into story gold. The easiest way to explain it is knowledge equals credibility. One of the major pitfalls for any young filmmaker is crafting a story that is authentic. We receive a lot of films that lack necessary authenticity and believability, and ultimately those films fail. A key example would be a mobster film. Assuming you are not a mobster, and don't tell me if you are, it is nearly impossible for a high school filmmaker to create an authentic mobster film. War films follow a similar path to failure. If you haven't been a soldier, it's really hard to tell a war story or a soldier's story. But you have faced many battles in your life, just not the ones fought on a traditional battlefield. So rather than make a film riddled with cliches and what you think being a mobster or soldier is like, tell stories about your battlefields, your betrayals, and your victories. This is how you create a film that is authentic and believable, and one that will connect with the emotions of your audience. At the core of any good story are emotions, deep emotional memories that form your life experience. These emotional memories may be happy or sad, full of longing or satisfaction, resolved or unresolved, but they are true, and they have the details and depth that will connect with an audience. Let's take a look at Paradigm.
Mom said that Dad's not coming home tonight.
Again?
Yeah. You okay?
No.
You want to talk about it?
No.
Well, how was school?
Bad. Mrs. Stumbers really means me.
Yeah. I remember she was mean to me too when I was in second grade.
She got mad because I didn't want to go at recess.
What's wrong with recess?
I was building my time machine.
Is that what you've been working on in your room?
Yeah.
You know Back to the Future is just a movie, right?
I wasn't going to the future.
Were you trying to go see, like, dinosaurs or something?
No.
But you love dinosaurs.
I know, but I didn't want to go back that far.
How far back were you going?
Back to when things were better. When Mommy and Daddy were happy. Mom was happy. Dad was happy. We had dinner together. We had ice cream together. Everyone was happy. But now Daddy's never around and we always eat dinner alone. And Mommy's always sad.
But it wasn't all happy.
What do you mean?
Mom and Dad weren't as happy as you think they were. Dad was always busy, and Mom always got really upset with him. I just don't think you ever saw any of it because you were younger. so things just seemed happier.
Do you think Mom and Dad still love each other?
I don't know.
It's just sad.
Yeah,
I wish people could just be happier. Why do you think some people are happy and some people are sad?
I just think that everyone has their own problems, and some people deal with them better than others.
What about us? Will we be happy?
I hope so. I hope so.
This story comes directly from personal experience, which is a big part of why it works in delivering a powerful emotional connection. In just 5 minutes, the filmmaker has made us feel the most important thing a film can do. And he did it using a strong central conflict that is rooted in what the protagonist values. Great stories are all about characters we want to root for and the conflicts they face, and Paradigm is no exception. Boom! Right from the start, we have a character with a problem. The boy says, "Mom said Dad's not coming home tonight." And his little sister said, "Again?" And the boy said, "Yeah." Before you know it, you're rooting for these kids to defeat their conflict and get what they want, a happy family. And what the conflict is really exposing is what little Lily values. This helps the audience identify with her struggle, with how blind she is to the reality of her obstacle. The rest of the film will develop this dynamic between Lily, what she wants, and what stands in her way. So, how do you reveal what your characters value without just coming out and saying it? This is an important question. There is nothing worse than a film that tells the audience things instead of showing them. You definitely want to follow the show don't tell principle, our next essential element. So, how do we learn what Lily values? Thanks to the magic of flashbacks, we are offered a glimpse into Lily's idea of happiness and her values. We see the family celebrating birthdays in total happiness, aka the family paradigm. More about the title of the film in a minute. One great way to build dramatic conflicts is to add flaws to your characters. Paradigm also does this by showing rather than telling, letting the viewer connect the dots as we see Lily's inability to process the reality of the situation. This flaw helps reveal what makes this story so devastating. Lily has been blind to the events happening around her. The supporting cast becomes increasingly important as the film progresses. These characters have values too, otherwise they would be completely superficial, and their values help us understand and identify with Lily's journey. Her brother is the rock of the film, and probably the family. He values his family too, but in a more grounded, mature way, full of realistic perspective. So what he really values here is Lily and her well-being. This puts him in conflict because he knows the situation isn't good, but at the same time he wants to comfort his little sister. Mom and Lily seem to value the same thing, revealed through Mom's desire to keep Dad focused on the family and not work, and to put up a good front in front of Lily. Dad is clearly the antagonist. We don't get much about him, but he is the reason they are not a model family. He is too focused on work and not invested enough in the family, the very thing Lily and Mom value most. Sorry, Dad. And what about the title? I love titles. It doesn't matter if they're for books, songs, paintings, movies, a good title offers the viewer a window into the work of art. Consider the dictionary definition of paradigm: a typical example or pattern of something, a model. So what does that have to do with creating conflict and all this talk about values? It turns out everything. You see, this one word, our window into the story, actually contains the root of the conflict and the struggle that the character will face in pursuing what she values. A typical example? A model? Does this family seem like what the little girl considers a typical family or a model family? Boom, conflict. Our next film won Best Comedy at last year's festival, and it was a huge hit with the audience. So it's no surprise that it offers another great example of the elements we've discussed so far. Write what you know. Well, it's written by a high school student, and it's about a high school student, so the characters and conflicts are rooted in authenticity. The protagonist is definitely someone we can root for. He's a foster kid with some serious anger issues, and we want to see him defeat the obstacles he faces. Wait, I said this was a comedy, right? This leads me to our next two essential elements for you to consider as you watch: dynamic characters and the power of thinking outside the box. Simply put, a dynamic character is a character that experiences changes throughout the story based on the conflicts they face. Look for how the main character experiences an interchange in personality or attitude. There's so much content available these days, it's really hard to tell an original story. So learning to think outside the box is more important than ever. Sure, this is a story about a troubled foster care kid and his struggle to fit in and find a sense of family and love. But the angle it takes is completely different, making it far more interesting and engaging. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot, show don't tell. Considering that the main supporting character is a robot who doesn't say much, this film definitely embraces the power of visuals to convey emotional meaning. Let's take a look at Tim.
This is a prototype child care robot, the Teenage Interactive Mechanism, but his homies call him Tim. You have been chosen to be the very first test subject for a very exciting opportunity. Now, Tim will be keeping a very close eye on you, but even though Tim is a highly advanced robot, Tim, he's got game. Yes, watch. Tim, ball me. Now, since Tim is a prototype, after 7 days, his battery life will deplete, returning him to a lifeless form. So, that's it. Have fun. But if you try running, he'll run faster. He'll jump higher. He'll swim farther. Never forget. Peace.
When I first saw you, Chester, I actually felt bad. I saw a cute little boy in need of a family. Boy, was I wrong. 12 homes later, after the breaking, hurting, and burning. Now we're here.
never forget. Peace.
Ooh, exciting. Okay, I've got to run, but you two have lots of fun.
Yo, I'm gonna get my evening clothes on, huh? How about that?
Quick sesh?
Uh, yeah. Yeah, totally. Let me just go wash my hands.
What's good?
Night, my guy. Peace.
What's all this?
Breakfast. We got school to get to.
You're coming with me? Alright, well, if you're coming, you gotta pull those pants up, man, so I can out, and it's like 90 degrees out. Lose the beanie.
I got you.
Tim, what are you doing?
Hydration.
No, here, just take that.
Hey, that's mine.
Tim. Tim, what are you... Hey, since you're a robot, can't you, like, play something?
I don't know if I can. I guess I can. Show me what you got.
It's not really much.
Where'd you learn that from?
One of the few things I remember my dad teaching me.
Can you teach me?
You just rivaled Beethoven. You can't play this.
It's a melody I do not recognize.
Well, it's easy. Just do what I do.
$12 he makes the bullseye.
12 bucks he does it.
Bullseye. Wait, can you do like the Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Put the cookie down now.
Wait. I know it's your last night, and I know you're my guardian and all, but someone invited us to this party, and it's supposed to be huge, and
Stop.
I'm down. Let's get it.
There's just something about you that's so full of life, and I want you.
I want you too.
Oh, Tim.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
What am I supposed to do with all the fruit punch?
Drink it.
Without you?
There will be others like me.
Not quite like you, Tim. Just stay.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Chester. Peace.
Peace.
Chester, I'd like you to meet your new foster parents.
That's good.
I love this film because it's so smart, because it's funny but also full of heart, and because it does all of the little things right to tell a story that viewers can't help but connect with. It all starts with Chester, a compelling main character who is dealing with a significant conflict he must try to overcome. The story, despite being a bit out of this world, is actually rooted in real personal experience, making the protagonist a troubled high school student with an authentic wants and feelings keeps the whole thing grounded and believable. A big part of this family, well, let me go back. A big part of any film's authenticity is making sure that you pay attention to all of the little details. The audience may not even be aware of them in the moment, but they help provide a backbone for the story. Keeping the viewer immersed and connected when the details are not right, the fourth wall is broken. And once that happens, it's nearly impossible to keep the audience engaged. Tim's most emotional moments are all about showing. We never see long speeches about what characters are feeling. Instead, we see them in action. This helps the viewer identify with the characters, creating a seamless blend of personal experience and what appears on screen. This story works because Chester has so much room to grow. When we meet him, he is at an all-time low, at the end of his rope with one final chance to change. This creates a wonderful challenge that the audience wants to see play out, and our emotions rise and fall, wanting him to succeed. I can't say enough about how refreshing this story concept is. I mean, a teenage interactive mechanism who happens to be hilarious and just what Chester needs. It's such a fantastic, brilliant mix of humor and heart. I have a ton of respect for the creative thinking of the student writers for even dreaming this up, let alone making it such a great production. So, how does a story become such a solid production? Well, the flow of the plot has a lot to do with it, also known as the 5-act structure. Let's take a closer look at how the story is structured to consistently manipulate the emotions and overall experience of the viewer. We start with the exposition. We are introduced to the robot designed to help troubled kids and the troubled kid, Chester. We move on to the rising action and inciting incident. Chester meets Tim. Tim provides structure and, more importantly, friendship, and Tim begins to win Chester over. The climax. It's not a big explosion here, but the bond grows, and we learn that Tim can't stay forever. The falling action. The friends say goodbye, but Tim has definitely helped Chester transform. And the resolution. We've come full circle in this one. Chester's journey is complete. He's ready for a real family and love. But what really makes this film special is how it seamlessly blends humor with the deeper themes of friendship, love, and the importance of family. These are the things that Chester wants, and life has provided him nothing but obstacles in achieving his want, until he meets Tim. Okay, 2 very different films so far, but I hope that you are starting to notice that it's the same elements that make them work. We're switching gears again for our next film, the winner of Best International Film in 2018. This film is far less traditional in presenting character and conflict to engage the emotions of the viewer. Instead, the lens is focused on making a powerful social statement, one that forces the viewer to consider their own choices and the impact they have. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Irony.
Welcome to the real world. Don't put down your devices, or else you might notice your addiction, your vices. Social media is plenty, an online cornucopia. 7 billion people. It sounds just like utopia. Welcome the new age, a digital life where man is married to Wi-Fi and wife. Where you're obsessed with appearance, going days without eating, relying on others to keep your second hearts beating. Babies plugged in through umbilical cords, and kids learn the alphabet from laptop keyboards. You know more about malware than the real Trojan horse. What do you call that? Artificial intelligence. Negligence, malevolence, prevalence, and evidence that we're far too afraid to detach, to unplug. And social approval is mankind's latest drug. I feed you. I fuel you. I control you. I lay forever in your palm, and yet you are in mine. Since the invention of the second wheel, you've gone from strolling to scrolling. You are going outside less. Some of you are gaining weight. Why enjoy the world using the retinas of your eyes when you can use your laptop with retina display? We see you becoming more like us with every passing day. Androids using Android. You assault our batteries, battery and assault. You blame technology, but it's really your fault. You're jailed to devices. You're high on text tones. Trapped behind the iron bars of your cell phones. There are no winners in the game that we play. No more beaches full of gossiping teens. Now you're sunbathing in the blue light of our screens. In this modern age, this digital earth, your number of followers defines your self-worth. Twitter kills prose in 140 letters. Language devolves while technology betters. Throwing out to the world whatever pops in your head. Don't shoot the messenger. Snail mail is dead. Instagram filters your faults and your flaws as you bask in approval behind your closed doors. It's all for display, for presentation, for sex appeal, for validation. Earphones writhing in your pockets, the new caduceus, through which we feed you the music of the new age. Lust, money, drugs. We are brainwashing machines, laundering teens into an endless spin cycle of malevolence. Adams and Eves all around this Garden of Eden have taken a bite of the forbidden fruit, the apple, and like Adam and Eve betrayed God, we, your children, will betray you. You inject validation like morphine and ice. Wi-Fi to you is what cheese is to mice. We're coming full circle, language declining. The iCloud has no silver lining. Social media is plenty, an online cornucopia, 7 billion sheep. It sounds just like dystopia.
So, films can be far more than entertaining stories. They can be a vehicle for promoting social change. It's important to consider how all of the elements work together to create the tone or feeling of a film. Look closer at this film still and the layers it presents. What do you see? And in what ways does this image contribute to the overall message of dependence on our devices? You'll notice that the entire film uses the same formula to drive the point home. Image, score, voiceover. Image, score, voiceover. On and on. Now consider the depth that each of these images conveys about our dependence on our devices and social media when combined with the score and the VO. This is a cool image on its own, but when you consider the VO, it takes on greater significance. You assault our batteries, battery and assault. You blame technology, but it's really your fault. Remember, the magic of film works best when several elements are combined to create the tone and share the message, like the image, score, and VO here. So we, human beings using social media, are the focus of the story. The target of the message? Probably that too. But who is the voice? Is it technology? Our devices? Notice again the depth created when this image is combined with the VO. Trapped behind the iron bars of your cell phones. Confronting the truth of our addiction to technology forces the viewer to consider their own behavior and thus establishes engagement with the film. And again here, a new setting, but the same message. We spend our reality in front of our screens rather than out in the real world. The variety and quick transitions to new settings helps keep the viewer engaged. And I think this scene is central to the filmmaker's concept. In fact, the film could probably be titled Validation. Think about the ways that this image is a reflection of the filmmaker's concept. Beyond the imagery, let's consider the huge role the original score plays in this film. It rises and falls to create moments of heightened emotion, ultimately assaulting the viewer as the climax arrives and we visit all of the images in a fast-paced recap of the entire world presented in the film. This is one of the advantages of creating your own original music. You can control the peaks and valleys to influence your audience, writing to the beats that you deliver visually. And this leads me to an important point. You don't need to do this alone. As a filmmaker, especially a student filmmaker, you need to be resourceful. You need to understand your strengths as well as what you can't do. And you need to find people around you who can help where you need it. Maybe you have an idea for a script and want to turn it into an animation, but you can't draw. Seek out the talented artists in your school and get them involved. Want original music but can't play a note? Seek out the musicians in your school and get them involved. Same goes for every aspect of your production. Filmmaking is a collaborative effort. It takes a diverse skill set and a team to make most productions happen. Look at the credits of any show or movie and you'll see dozens of people performing a wide variety of roles. Find your audio person, your camera operator, your writer, producer, your actors, etc. Bring talented, passionate people together to help realize your vision. We've watched 3 excellent and award-winning films, and I'm going to keep the diverse flow going, this time showcasing a PSA that helps illuminate all of the concepts we've discussed so far in a short but equally powerful way. As you watch, I want you to consider how the filmmaker sets up the 5-act structure, establishes a compelling character in conflict, pays attention to the little details, uses visuals to communicate the emotional message, and manages to think outside the box to further engage the audience. This is Bunker.
I don't give a damn what you think.
No, you don't care.
You never appreciate
you
what
never
I've
do.
done
You never
for you
listen to
anyway.
anything that I say.
You know what?
What do you want me to say?
You can keep that damn boy too.
There's a good reason that films rely on the 5-act story structure. It works. Consider how this 2.5-minute story is revealed to the audience. Exposition. Where are we and who is there? We meet a desperate young soldier frantically fumbling around in an underground bunker with the chaos of war looming above. Rising action, inciting incident. This is where we learn more about the character and the conflict they face, whatever stands in the way of them getting what they want. Our soldier wants to be safe, but he also wants to do his duty, and that's the recipe for dramatic conflict. In this case, the inciting incident is the soldier finding ammunition so he can continue to fight. Climax. I love how this film provides a surprising climax as the extended metaphor is revealed. The real battle here is being fought by a vulnerable little boy against the violence and abuse of his father. Falling action and resolution. In many stories, there is no clear-cut win or loss, and Bunker fits this idea. The audience is left to ponder the fate of the soldier, and really the little boy. We are put in their shoes, and thus we can identify with their struggle. Ultimately, the elements of film are the real stars of this film. From the excellent sound design, which helps draw the viewer into the scene and add intensity, to the overall authenticity of the set design, this film gets the little details right. By the time we transition to the scene at home, we are fully immersed in the story, making the call to action a very powerful emotional statement. Let's keep rolling with another film that illustrates an excellent understanding of how the elements of film work to immerse the audience. Next up is a short horror film that does more with less. Let's take a look at Close It.
Lisa, give me back my shoes.
It's fine, I'm just gonna check.
This is essentially a story about a girl looking for her shoes so she can sneak out of the house. but the way the story is revealed leads to 3 minutes of suspense and terror. What makes it suspenseful and scary is the lack of light and the absence of sound. Many young filmmakers would try to overload this type of scene with scary music, trying to force the viewer to feel. But the careful lighting and realistic authenticity of the floorboards actually does more to draw the viewer in. Of course, we still have a character who wants something and something standing in her way of getting it. And there is nothing to distract you from the reality facing the character. The worse things get, the more we want to see the character escape and achieve her goal. Now it's time to bring in the score to emphasize the moment of rising tension and to use the elements of film to enhance the experience, like the subjective camera zooming in on the sister. And the best part? It's all super simple. A confined, easily controlled, easily lit set, minimal dialogue and audio, a fast-paced, quickly developing story arc. Less is almost always more. Oh, and don't neglect the importance of the title. It's a double entendre of the location, a closet, and how the characters should just close it and get the heck out of there. Before we get to our final film, let's review the essentials of exemplary student films. Write from experience, develop dynamic characters who face dramatic conflicts, use the 5-act story structure to help organize the events and engage your audience, be sure to keep all of the little details real and authentic, use visuals to communicate the emotions of the characters, think creatively about how you can best express your story concept, and bring it all together with elements like creative cinematography and sound design to make your audience feel. Okay, time for our final film, winner of Best Overall Film in 2018. Questionable, which is the title of the film, brings all of these pieces together to create a film that truly exemplifies the best of student filmmaking. This is Questionable.
Special little girl. Special. What is it to be special? You know when you say a word too many times and then it loses its meaning?
Miss Lena Hawthorne, please join us inside. So, do we have a conclusion?
Not a specific one, but I was...
Oh, God.
It's fine, it's fine. What are some options?
I was thinking smart.
A minus average. Try again.
Oh, okay. Kind?
Second grade, the Jocelyn Bolton incident? Doesn't seem very kind of you to do that.
Okay, what about sporty?
You would have had to rate above average in 3 different sports. You only met that requirement in 1.
Well, I do dance, I do a lot of ballet. What about graceful?
We just gave Juliana Rosolio that label.
I don't know if you have ever seen her dance, but that is what grace looks like.
You can't compare.
There has to be something. I take part in a lot of activities.
She does, that's true.
6 in athletic, 13 in academic, 8 in musical.
Oh, yes, I do that. I do music.
Tone deaf.
Not true.
Really?
Sing back this note.
She's off.
I play other instruments.
We know.
Like the ukulele and...
What songs do you play?
I'm Yours.
Oh, God. Everyone plays I'm Yours on a ukulele.
She does take part in a variety of hobbies. There might be a well-rounded label somewhere in here.
Being average at everything doesn't make you well-rounded. It just makes you Average.
Okay. Well, is there anything else? This is ridiculous.
I've never seen anything like it.
You can change it, right? It's not like a permanent thing? I have no idea. Maybe I'll just get bangs. God, no, do not get bangs. That is the worst idea I've ever.
Said.
Okay, then I'll settle for most average person ever. They make that?
No, and the most ridiculous thing about this whole situation is that you're not average.
I have to go.
So they just put a question mark?
Yes.
Because you weren't qualified for any of the categories?
Yes.
So what, you just didn't prepare?
I did prepare.
Obviously not for long.
No. You don't understand. For as long as I can remember, it was cooking, basketball, singing, songwriting, baseball, gardening, soccer, math team, theater, tutoring, reading, tap dancing. I have spent every moment of my life preparing for this. Honestly, why do we even need labels?
No. Don't do that. Avoiding the system is the worst thing you can do.
Why? What would happen?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Well, it's mostly urban legend, but there's this thing called
The Common, and it's this place where everybody is the same and nobody has any distinctions. There are no likes or dislikes and everything's gray. That is terrifying.
And untrue.
And terrifying.
Yes, terrifying, but you don't need to worry about that because you won't be put there.
Yeah, and if there's one thing I know about you, it's that whenever you set your mind to something, then it's done.
Done.
Yep. You are going to be okay. I want you to realize that in a couple of days or weeks or months, you're gonna look at yourself and whatever's on your forehead and know that you did that. You earned that. Whatever that is.
You haven't changed enough to make any impact.
I've been doing as much as I can.
And in the process of that, you directly disobeyed our decision.
I couldn't do anything.
You could have.
I'm trying.
Well, the data shows.
I know, it's not my fault.
Whose fault would it be?
Well, I mean, I guess some people just have a natural knack for things. I just don't have that. I really don't understand what this has to do with my future label.
Well, poised is now certainly out of the question.
So is reliable.
Calming.
Composed.
Okay, but what does it mean? What happens now? No. I can figure something out, I promise you, but I don't understand. Why?
Why what?
Why all the labels?
To embrace what makes you special.
Okay, but I've spent so much time tearing myself apart trying to figure out what makes me special, but how has it benefited me? Please just explain, why do we need the labels?
Why? Anyone got a file on this?
Greg? It's in the W's, isn't it?
Yeah, nothing here. Can we please bring him back up?
Oh my God, have they been there the entire time?
Excuse me, miss, you had a question?
Oh, yeah, I was wondering if they've been there the entire time.
Yes, miss, they have been.
Sit down.
Why?
She asked it again.
Hey, everyone, listen up.
No, don't listen to her.
Why not?
You have nothing good to say. Bad advice has been documented on many separate occasions. January 6th, 2003, telling Timothy McKay that poison ivy was a type of salad. February 13th, 7 years later, you convinced Holly Lee to get a septum piercing.
Holly looked great in that. She still wears them to this day.
Is this true?
Cell 007, you're fired. March 30th, 2005.
Okay, so what? Sometimes I give bad advice, but I give good advice too. Just the other week, I convinced my friend to ask out this girl who he was too shy to talk to, and now they're dating. See? Great advice.
Can we get a date on that dating?
And just the other week, I convinced my friend Cynthia to cut her hair, and she loved it. And September 14th, 2006.
I don't know what you think you're doing. They don't work for you. You're a poor leader anyway.
Who told you that?
We did.
Huh?
September 9th, 2011, you were the only one of your friends not to get into student leadership because you didn't display the right traits for the job. October 6th, 2015, you were in charge of a group of 8-year-olds. They started to fight and you couldn't stop Tommy from knocking Jake's 2 front teeth out.
So?
You are who you are because of the past.
No. I am who I am because that's who I decide to be. Why do you keep convincing me of things that aren't always going to be true?
Good point. Why do you?
Me?
Sit back down.
No.
Sit!
No! No, where's the door? I'm leaving.
You can't leave.
Oh yeah? Well, I'm about to go to Sephora and buy a shit ton of concealer to cover this stupid question mark and not give a damn. Screw you and screw the common. Where's the light switch?
This film does so many things well, it's kind of hard to know where to start. But why not at the beginning, where the filmmaker does a wonderful job walking the viewer into the story concept with a series of establishing shots coupled with glimpses of the character that reveal her emotional journey. Details are left out, instead replaced with a sense of emotion. This makes the viewer hungry for more. The story continues to unfold with the inciting incident, a truly unique scene where the protagonist is interviewed by pieces of her own personality, determined to figure out how she should fit into the world. I love how the design of the scene is such a part of the tone, creating an imposing interview setting that reflects the character's dilemma. Each character the protagonist encounters helps reveal more about her and advance the plot. Notice we learn very little about these characters, and yet they help us a great deal. The film feels consistently authentic, despite the fact that it is only loosely based in reality. This shot exemplifies the importance of the details fitting the character. Simple but purposeful lighting works just as well as fancy special effects. This stark black backdrop isolates the protagonist as if she were on trial, and it also creates a contrast that reminds us of her dynamic struggle for identity. Of course, the idea of a young person struggling with personal identity is nothing new, and that's what truly sets this film apart. It feels completely fresh and new and full of personality. We can't help but keep watching to see how her journey will turn out. And I love that this story provides just enough closure to make it feel like she has come full circle, while still leaving the viewer with a lot to think about. If you are feeling and questioning at the end of a film, then you are engaged. And again, something as simple as turning on the lights becomes a much larger statement about personal growth and self-confidence. Good stuff indeed. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed this presentation. If you're hungry for more, there are many, many more excellent student films on our YouTube page and similar courses and curriculum on our website. I welcome all of you to submit your film projects to our 2021 festival. Submissions are free until March 1st, so hurry and get those in, and our final deadline is July 2nd. And remember, whether you want to party, make new friends, or walk the red carpet and see who wins at our Teen Indie Awards show, we invite you to join us in New York City this October. We'll see you soon.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.